Moving right along, we have a late declaration and a scope example way back here. For example, actually, it was the very first one we talked about here in the refresher. We did mention that, and the changes I will have made will have undone themselves, but we did mention that we can make a late declaration. We do not have to cram, essentially, all of our declarations here up at the start of main. Also remember, while we're at it here, I can, never remember to fork it though, I can also make global declarations of these, right? So if I take these and put them outside of the scope of main, this will mean that any and all of, and this is something that we'll look forward to in chapter 2 or part 2 of our refresher series next week, but these would be global variables. These are variables that any and all of our methods would have access to. So that's not what we're looking at here. Rather, we are looking at late declaration. So that's what's happening here. Now, remember, it's not necessarily a preferred programming device because it can lead to problems later on down the line when the next developer in the chain is going through and looking for, bug fixing here, because they're not necessarily going to be in the know of when these variables are being declared. But here we have a statement block. We have an if statement. So we are looking for a number greater than 0, and they are going to, it's just for an output here, right? So inside of this statement block, I have a secondary declaration. I've got int number declared up here on line 7, and I have int number declared down here on 13. The scope of int number that is declared here on line 13 is only inside of these, inside of the braces here. So the scope of this int number only lives from 12 to 18. The scope of this number lives here between 7 and 11, and then it lives again here from 9 to 20. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to watch the output here. So I'm going to enter a number 5. And now I'm going to enter another number. That is us inside of this selection. So this time I'm going to enter 6. So once I hit enter on the 6, we're going to get that C out immediately. I really did do that before. So we're going to run it again. We've got a 5. We've got a 6. Okay, here we go. This is right here, line 16 and 17, where the scope of my secondarily declared int number lives inside of here. This number 5 is really this integer number, which lives outside of the scope of that statement. So scope we're going to see again next session, and we're going to see it as it relates to either global, so all of your program, or as it relates to the inside of the methods that will create, so functional programming as well. So this has a tendency to goof up developers, and as a refresher, it's something that's a good thing to mention here again.